Shalom, shalom. First, we give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the Son, who people unknowingly call Jesus Christ. Lord willing, you're enduring, you're praying, you're fasting, you're giving alms, you're doing everything you need to do to make a call, you're going to let you sure in these last days. I'm going to give peace and blessing to whomsoever watching this. Also, going to give peace and blessing to whomsoever not watching this. Yet they believe in the Most High God, Yahweh. They believe on His beloved Son, Yahweh Shah, and they're keeping the commandments in truth and sincerity. Now, the title of this video is going to be how to deal with strife, debate, and contention, especially with you being in this truth, whether it be brothers or sisters in this truth that you grow amongst or worldly people. You have to know how to guide, how to rule over your tongue, and know how to rule your conversations. Let's kick it off with the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 6. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. So you have to know how to rule your tongue, know when to say things, know how to say it, know what not to say. You got to discern time and judgment. We get a precept real quick. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8. I believe I want verse 5. Because a man, a woman of discernment, they know when to say stuff. They're just not talking just to talk. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 5. It reads, Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. So a wise man's heart, if you're a wise person, you discern time and judgment. You know there's a time to talk, there's not a time to talk. You know when to speak, when not to speak, when to say something, when not to say something. You know how to do these things. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So there's a time to speak. There's a time to refrain from speaking. There's a time to greet somebody. There's a time not to greet someone, man. There's a time to comfort someone, and there's a time to let them be. There's a time to so-called confront somebody, and there's a time not to confront somebody. And again, a wise person will know when to do that. Because a person that's full of talk is going to end up causing all hell breaking loose. Let's get Proverbs 15, verse 18 real quick. That's how contention starts, man. Strife starts by conversation, someone talking too much. They may end up slipping, saying something, rubbing someone the wrong way. Next thing you know, they're getting a full debate and argument. This Proverbs 15, verse 18. A wrathful man stirred up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. So if you're slow to anger, you appease strife. You don't get mad so easily. You don't really take things to heart. You don't really talk to that many people, so you hold your tongue, and there's a less chance of you getting an argument. But again, if you're always in someone's face, if you're always gossiping, if you're always talking, more than likely, there's a greater chance for you to get in an argument with somebody, with someone who doesn't really talk. Because again, it tells you in James 3, let's get that real quick, that the tongue is a word of iniquity, man. If you can't rule your own tongue, it's going to destroy you. Let's go to James chapter 3 and verse 6 real quick. Bear with me. This is the book of James chapter 3 and verse 6. And it reads, And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. So what does it mean that your tongue can defile the whole body? Your tongue can cause you to get put to death. There's two men on this earth when they get pulled over by the cops. A man who's wise and who knows how to use his tongue in righteousness, or yes sir, who agree with his adversaries quickly, like it says in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 25. And there's another man who's always getting an argument with cops, who said, I don't care, I'm a black man, if you shoot me, this and the third, all hell breaking loose. Now the first man, he's using his tongue, guess what? He's putting out that flame. A wise man ought to make someone calm down, man. Let's get that real quick in Proverbs 15 verse 1. A wise man ought to use his words to get out a sticky situation. But a fool will use his words against him to get him put to death. Right? This Proverbs 15 verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So again, the first man, he used a soft answer. Yes, sir. My hands are up. Right? I'm getting my ID. Yes, sir. How's it going, officer? Things of that nature. Keeps it respectful. He knows the officer's doing his job. And guess what? More than likely, he may go away with a warning. He gets to go back home to his family, see his son, see his daughter, see the brothers and sisters, man. And there's that second man who's stirring up anger, man. Why are you pulling me over? Give me a supervisor. No, I'm not getting out the car. I got a gun on me. I'm not afraid to use it. And guess what? Guess where he's at right now? He's somewhere up in the spiritual world. He's dead, man. Because he did not discern the time. He don't know how to use his tongue, man. The tongue can be the best thing you can have or the worst thing you can have. Only if you know how to use it. That's how you get friends, man. It tells you, let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. Let's go to Sirach. I think it's Sirach 6. It says, sweet language multiply friends. It's like I'm on the tablet right now. I'm on the tablet right now. My phone don't have no space, so bear with me. But this is Sirach chapter 6, as known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 5. It reads, sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. So if you have sweet language, you know how to use your tongue. That's how people get friends. You may look at somebody, hey, how did everybody love her, man? How did everybody love her? How come she got the love of the congregation? How come everybody want to be around her? Because guess what? He or she knows how to use the tongue. She gives people greetings. She don't just walk in the room and walk past everybody. He don't just walk in the room and don't dap nobody up, don't greet nobody. Just sit down, get on his phone. And guess what? He go into the function, he dap people up, he show his face, you know how to use his tongue, man. So again, the tongue can be the best thing. Or it could be the worst thing, again, depending on how you use it. Let's go to the next precept. Let's go to Proverbs 17 and verse 14. It reads, the beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water, therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. So the beginning of strife is when you let out water. When you turn that faucet just a little, you start getting drops. You turn it a little bit more drops, faster drops. You turn that thing all the way, right? All that water's gonna come pouring out. Same thing with contention, same thing with arguments. If you have a sibling, and he or she say something to you, guess what? You can either ignore that, or guess what? You can say something back. What you say, that's you taking heed to that, and you meddling with that argument. Because guess what? The sibling will go, you heard what I said. I call you out your name, and guess what? You might say something, they gonna say something, and y'all fighting, then the mom trying to break it up, right? Dad trying to break it up, all hell breaking loose and stuff like that. That's what it means to be meddling with something. You playing around with something. Like it tells you in the Sirach chapter 12, I believe, it says, let's just get it real quick. Let's go to Sirach 12. Sirach chapter 12, let's start at verse, let's start at verse 13. It reads, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? And that's not the one I wanted, but there's a different precept that says, what's it called? Basically, don't flee away from the face of a serpent or something like that. It's in my heart. It's not on my tongue though. Dang, I don't know where it is. But basically, you can't be around a snake and expect not to get bitten. You know what I'm saying? So if you continue to talk to someone or meddling with someone who's trying to argue with you, you keep entertaining that, eventually y'all gonna come to blows. They might start arguing. They're gonna call you out your name. You might call them out your name. But basically, they're gonna get the spirit, man. When the fruit of the spirit is being long suffering, being patient, not arguing, man. That's a flesh right there. Let's get another precept, because strife really comes from pride. Whether you're married, you have brothers, your friends, sisters, siblings, whatever it is, it really comes from pride. Let's get Proverbs 13 and verse 10. And it reads, only by pride cometh contention, but with the well advised is wisdom. So when someone's trying to be contentious with you, you try to tell them, hey, look, I don't think this, that, and third. Guess what? They might respond, I don't think you know what you're talking about. They don't want to take correction. They're just giving you a hard time. That's really just pride, man. Because they don't want to humble down and see the perspective. Don't be around someone who's always contentious, man. Because they always feel like their way's right. If you tell someone something 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and they don't want to listen, hey, even Paul said, hey, reject. What's it called? I think that's in Titus. Let me see if I can find that real quick. He said, after the first and second admonition, reject or something like that. Let's see if I can find it. Let's he's a heretic. I think it's 3 verse time. Sirach chapter Titus chapter 3 and verse 10. A man that is an heretic after the first and second admonition reject, knowing that he that is such is subverted and sinneth, being condemned of himself. So again, he's as a heretic. Someone's not listening. Someone's acting like a heathen. Someone's just being abominable, man. You gotta reject that man. You gotta put that man far away from you. You gotta put that sister far away from you. A brother told me a long time ago, you gotta spiritually stiff on people. Spiritually stiff on demons. You don't have to be around everybody. Don't let people tell you how to be around people. You know what I'm saying all the time. Because even Christ, let me get that real quick. Let's go to John chapter 2. Christ wasn't always around people, man. Sometimes he went by himself. And really, he just wanted to be around the 12 most of the time, man. It's John chapter 2 and verse 23. Now, when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Yahushua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men. Now, this is Christ himself, Yahushua, whom people say, he came for the whole world. He died for everybody. He loves everybody. He said he did not commit himself to everybody, man, because he knew people. He knew people wasn't sincere. He knew people like some of the Pharisees, Sadducees, the chief priests was going to try to put him to death, man. Were very, what's it called? Serpent, man, guile, crafty. He knew about these men. Verse 25, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. So Yahushua knew what was in man. And you can know the same thing if you have discernment, man. You can know that brother, he always going to argue and get you up the spirit. When he see you prospering, he comes out of nowhere. Well, you're in captivity still, man. I don't know why you're happy. You gotta be sad. Every time he comes around, he always want to debate you, man. You say this, he says that. You say this, he says something else, man. No matter what you say, he's in opposition. Hey, stay away from that brother. You gotta mark that brother. Even Paul said that, man. You gotta mark people. Don't think, I can't judge. Hey, let me get that real quick. In John 7, verse 24, you gotta judge righteous judgment. It's John chapter 7 and verse 24. Judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. And judgment has a lot to do with discernment, man. You cannot judge if you have no discernment at all. But that's why I told you again in Ecclesiastes 8 and 5 that judgment and discernment, paraphrasing. Right? So again, don't judge by appearance, but you can judge by what? According to righteous judgment, the works, the patterns. Habits come by pattern of works, man. When he keep doing the same thing over and over again, every time she comes around, always gossiping, backbiting. Every time this person comes around, you get out the spirit. They'll always end up arguing. That's a pattern of works. You gotta understand that and guard your spirit and separate from that person, man. Right? I tell you also, let's go to Sirach 19. Because you can just know a person just by how they conduct themselves, man. This Sirach chapter 19 and verse 29, right here, it says, a man may be known by his look. And one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him. So on one fold, yeah, you can tell what type of time someone's on. You know that's a hooker when she's standing on the block. She got that tight behind dress on. Her hair is all probably messed up. She got her cleavage all out. She got money in her bra. She got those boots on. She's leaning against somebody's truck window, asking how much. You know what type of time she on. How do you know that's a firefighter? Because he got the suit on. Get that helmet on, get that long behind rope connected to the fire hydrant and stuff like that, man. So you can tell what type of time someone's on when you meet them. I'm gonna keep going though. It says, verse 30, a man's attire and excessive laughter and gait shew what he is. So you can tell what type of time someone's on by what they come around do, by the fruit that they produce. Again, he comes around, he's always debating somebody, he's always in an argument with somebody. She's always just no one, you know what I'm saying, no one likes her because she does the same thing to everybody. You gotta count that, man. You can't be a fool in this truth. oh, it's of the Lord. All praise to the Most High God. It's that, that. No, you gotta mark that, man. Because when you start hanging out with that person will start doing bad things to you, causing you to be in strife, contention, stuff like that. Right? Even with, again, you might be in a marriage. Your wife, you know that if you do this, that, and the third, your wife won't get upset. But you keep doing it, man. So you have all these spirits in your house. You're not, what's called, taking into account that she's going to get upset, and vice versa. The woman has her husband. She knows that if she don't do this, if she don't read for the day, this, that, and the third, the husband going to get on him, or on her. And guess what? She doesn't care. Now it's a strife in the house. There's ways to what's called combat strife, debate, and contention, man, by being prudent, right? Foreseeing the evil. It tells you that in let's get Proverbs 22 real quick. Now these just through the spirit. Proverbs 22. We get 22 and verse 3. And it reads, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." So it says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil." Again, you know, even if you're a son, you know you're supposed to take that trash out before you went to work. So don't be surprised if you come home and your parents arguing with you, going down your neck stuff. How come you didn't do this and the third? Well, brother, you deserve that, man. Because you should have took the trash out. There was a way you could have stopped that debate and contention, man. So that you gotta be prudent in certain matters to get this out. Another way you can be prudent again is not to always hang around someone who is contentious. You always want to hang around this person, but they always being contentious. And now it might not just be with you. I might go out to eat and they being contentious with the waiter. Let me get pulled over. And guess what? He get contentious with the officer. Y'all both get killed and get arrested or something, man. All right, let's go to Ecclesiastes 10. Let's get back in check. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 4, it reads, "If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacify great offenses." Now the reason why I brought this out, because if someone rises up against you, they have an ought against you, don't be so quick to run away, to leave, man. They're gonna put a bitter taste in their mouth. Hear that person out, hear the matter out, man. Why do they have an offense against you? You have to consider, dang, did you actually do that? And some people are not sincere, man, when they say sorry. They be saying, sorry if I made you feel that way. Oh man, that's not sincere. Hey, sorry that I made you feel that way. What can I do better? Right? You can't be so quick to want to run away or run your mouth back and stuff like that, because that goes back to Proverbs 13 verse 10. Only by pride comes contention. Because people want to have what's called an ought with you, a problem with you. And there can be ways that can be reconciled. Only if you're humble. Both parties have to be humble in this thing. Because you may be humble, you may apologize, and the other party might say, nah, I don't like that apology, this and the third. And that's not sincere on their part. Now, what else you want me to do? Bow down to you and lick your toes, man? You know what I'm saying? So both parties have to be humble. Let's go to Proverbs 20 and verse 3. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 3, it reads, "It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling." So it is honorable in the eyes of the Most High God and His beloved Son to cease from strife. Someone's coming to you with that rah-rah, man. You just say, "Shalaki King, I make you feel that way. I won't do it again. That's my fault." And you just keep it going, man. Instead of saying, "No, I didn't do that." Prove it. Prove all things. You pull out precepts. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 21. You pull out Proverbs, I believe 25 verse 8, debate that cause, man. You pull on all these precepts. I go and add it, shaking the hand. All hell breaking loose. I go into counsel with another brother. Well, it could be easily just said, "Hey, that's my fault, King. That I did it that way. Lord willing, I won't do that again. That's my mistake." Just keep it going. Taking accountability. A lot of people don't want to take accountability because they don't want to have a blemish on their name. Or they don't want the other brother to have that satisfaction of being right. It's again, I'm going to read it one more time. Proverbs 20 verse 3. "It is an honor for a man to cease from strife." And that's not just for a man only, but for a woman as well. And women, they have not all women, some like Sarah, right? She had a meek spirit and stuff like that, a quiet spirit. But some women, now, especially nowadays, especially in certain cities in Atlanta, what? Yeah, women got a mouth on them, man. They have a mouth on them. They're not going to say sorry, this, that, and the third. Not all of them. There's some, again, it's a remnant. It's always a remnant. But most, by and large, they're not going to say sorry, that's my fault, I see it your way. they're gonna gaslight you. First of all, they may say you're in the wrong. They might call you out your name. They might put that finger in your forehead and push your head back, man. They might go to Tyrone, stuff like that until you get your act together. They don't want to take accountability. And same thing with men too. It's not just women, but men be doing the same thing. They don't want to take accountability, especially in this truth. You got men who, just because they're a man, they have power over the woman. They always think they're right. The one may come to him in a meek, humble spirit and say, head or Lord, wherever she address you by, she might say, look, I think you can do this better. The man says, get out my room. Go read the Bible. Don't you ever come to me and tell me what I need to do better. Don't you know I'm a man of the Most High God? He start getting precepts, and he might go to 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 10 on down, talking about he suffered not a woman, suffered a woman to be silenced, paraphrasing. He might go to 1 Corinthians 14 verse 34, about he suffered not a woman to speak in the church and stuff like that, man. Right, that's off. Right, so my people are very prideful. Again, I'm going to read this one more time. Proverbs 20 verse 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool would be meddling. Yeah, only a fool would be like, what you say? They say it to my face. Hey, let's take it outside real quick. I bet you won't say it again. Like, that's only a fool would say that. You gotta be scared really to get in an argument because you don't know what that other person got on them. Man, they might got a gun. They might have a bad record. They may be ready to crash out. And he's about to crash out to somebody else. But since you're a fool, he crashed out into you that day. Right? Let's go to Proverbs. I already brought that out. Let's get some accounts on how to be humble, man. Like our forefathers and foremothers. Let's go to Genesis 15. So let's go to Genesis 13 and verse 5 with Abram and Lot. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13. So Genesis 13 and verse 5, it reads, and Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. Now Abram is the uncle of Lot. Lot is Abram's nephew. Verse 6, it reads, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Right, so, Abram, he had his servants, he had his cattle, he had his wife and things of that nature. He had his own thing. Lot had the same thing. He had his own thing. They had so much together, it was hard for them to maneuver around each other, man. The same way how you might have a roommate. This happens a lot with roommates. You might have a roommate. You may have your thing going on. You may have your own job. You may work from home. The other person may not work from home. They come back home. They have their own job. They play music or they trying to work, right? Let's keep going. Verse 6. And the land was not able, it's like I already read that. Verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. So there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's and the herdmen of Lot. But it was getting into it. It's not a detailed account of what they were saying, but just know there was strife. Let's keep going. Verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. So Abram had a spiritual eye. He had a spiritual, he was in the spirit. See, if Abram was in the flesh, he's going to tell Lot, hey, don't talk to my people like that, man. Don't talk to my servants like that. If you want to talk, you come talk to me. But no, he went to the Lord, the master over these servants. He went to Lot and said, look, man, you're my brother. Let's not do this. We're brothers. We shouldn't be arguing. We shouldn't be fighting. And they was both in the spirit. Let's keep going. Verse 9. Is it not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right hand. If thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. So Abraham said, hey, but you got to separate. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with taking time apart from a brother, from a sister, and things of that nature. Sometimes I need your own space. You might have a marriage. So you may go to one section of the house. You may go to the other section of the house, man. You may go out with the brothers and get your mind off of it and stuff like that. Or if it's between two brothers, man, you know what I'm saying? I might not hang out all the time. I might, set boundaries and stuff like that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you got to guard your spirit in these last days. Right? Let's go to another one. Let's go to Numbers chapter 12. Right? Let's go to Numbers of Moses. This book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. So, what's called Miriam and Aaron are the siblings of Moses. So they're basically mad and have a contention and strife with Moses because he married outside his nation. Verse 2, and they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. So they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, man? They kind of just make it seem like Moses nobody. They said, man, the Lord's not only speaking about Moses, he's speaking about us as well, right? Verse 3, basically it's like nowadays saying, the Lord's not just dealing with you, the Lord's dealing with me. I'm somebody too. Trying to put yourself on a pedestal of that other person. Verse 3, now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out ye not, so like it come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out, and the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. Right, so Most High God through his son about to set this thing in order, man. He about to set this in order and let you know what's about to go down. Verse 6, and he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him I will speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So the Most High God saying this in order, saying, look, Moses, that's my man right there. That's my friend. I speak to him face to face as a friend speaking to his friend, man. I never did that to one of y'all. To other people, I'm doing that to Moses. So why weren't y'all afraid to speak to Moses? Why were y'all afraid? Why weren't y'all afraid to speak to Moses, acting like he's nobody? The reason why I bring this out, because you never know who you're speaking to. You may begin, you're in marriage. You may be a husband. Yeah, you have rule over the woman, but you never know who that woman may be. That may be Mary back on the earth. The mother of your house shot, man. That might be Sarah back on the earth, man. And you talking to her the wrong way. And vice versa. For women out there, you might be talking to King David the wrong way, Moses the wrong way, Judas Maccabees the wrong way, treating them up to nothing, man. Right? For brother to brother, you may be talking to Jonathan, man, back on the earth. Peter, James, Paul, one of the apostles. You may be disrespecting Abraham, man, a friend of God. That's why it's important you gotta watch who you talk to these last days, because you never know who you're talking to. Let's keep going. Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from all the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. That's plain upon tables, man. You gotta watch who you're talking to these last days, or you can get jammed up, just like Miriam got jammed up. Right? She was talking out of order. First of all, it says rebel not the gods. That's in the law. Right? You cannot rebel the gods. Curse the rulers like people, paraphrasing. So they coming up against Moses, and they got jammed up, man. They got rebuked by the Most High God. So again, you gotta watch who you talk to, because you never know who you're talking to these last days. Let's go to Proverbs 4 and verse 23. I want to kind of switch it to a different subject. This Proverbs 4 and verse 23, it reads, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Now the reason why I say that, because a lot of people, they have an evil eye towards their brother. So if you always constantly meditating about evilness, doing evil things to your brothers, don't be surprised that right when he comes around, spirit feels weird. Not getting to it right off the bat, right? Because you've been having an evil eye towards your brother, right? Like thinking evil things, thinking evil thoughts towards your sisters. Now she might try to come to you, hey sis, this not there, how's it going? Shalom, sis. Shalom. Who you think you are? Right? You have an evil eye. The brother comes around, you've been thinking evil thoughts with the brother, he comes around, and Shalom, king, Shalom. No, peace be unto you, man. How's it going? I'm alright. You just leave it like that. You have a bitterness towards your brother because you have an evil eye. Because that's the main thing you've been thinking about is how to get back at your brother. That goes back to Mark 7, actually. Let's go to Mark. Because whatever you think about, man, that's what you're going to act on. If you always think about lust, eventually you're going to fall into lust. And some type of fornication, man. An evil, wicked, seducing spirit. Right? This is Mark chapter 7 and verse 20. And it reads, and he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, right, your heart, which is your mind, right, referring to Job 17, verse 11, it says, for from within, out of the heart of man, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, and evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So if you're not keeping your heart, which is your mind, with all diligence, you're going to have evil spirits like committing adultery. Don't you know adultery has to start in your mind? That's why the Lord said, if you look upon a woman to lust, you commit adultery in your heart. Because if you start committing adultery in your heart, thinking like, I can steal this man's girl, I can steal his wife, you start coming up with a plan. Hey, read history of Susanna, man. It's first it started in the eyes, then it went to the mind, then it went to some action, man. Right? Now you have an evil eye and stuff like that. That's from within. That's in your heart. You gotta fast and purge your spirits out. But I promise you, if you have an evil eye towards a brother or towards a sister, and they come around, you're gonna treat them in a different manner. Their counseling is not gonna be the same. That even happened with Laban and Jacob. It said Jacob beheld Laban's countenance, that wasn't the same towards him. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Give me some time. 1 second. This Genesis chapter 31. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, and he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all his glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. You see that? So people can discern the type of spirit you're moving in. Especially if people have been around you before, you was moving in a spirit. You used to be, joyful, happy, you used to be cool, outgoing, stuff like that. They come around to the spirit you're moving in, they can discern that spirit. They can discern the spirit that you have towards them. It's an evil eye, he got something on his mind, or he's depressed or something like that. People can read your spirit, man. Right? So that's what Jacob did with Laban. Jacob saw that Laban wasn't as cheerful towards him as before. And when you read the rest of Genesis chapter 31, hey, Laban ran up on Jacob, and they got in a big argument, man. Let me see if I can find that real quick. They said they chode together. Let me see. Slovakia. Damn, let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. Yeah, when you read verse like 21 on down, it was big argument, him and Jacob, bro. Right, but I don't want to get into it. That's a whole passage. You can read it for yourself. But man. So Laban, he was cool with Jacob at first until Jacob got more glory than him. That's when he had an evil eye. Right, I'm gonna get one more and close it down. All right, this is right. Put this at back 28. So this is the Sirach, chapter 28, and verse 2. It reads, verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. So if you try to take vengeance from somebody, revenge yourself, the Lord won't have your sins in remembrance. Man, that's what the Lord said. You got to forgive people 70 times 7, which means forever. Doesn't mean you got to always hang around that brother. That's why it's important to know your spirit. If you know that you're going to get into it with that brother again, don't be around that brother, man. Don't have everybody in the company. But you still have to forgive that brother or that sister. Verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee, so shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou praise. So if you want your sins to be forgiven, you have to forgive the wickedness that the brother hath done unto you. Whether it be a great matter or small, you got to forgive it. That's a commandment from the Most High God. Because if you don't, that's where the Most High God won't forgive you, and it's a very scary thing. Let's jump down to verse 7. Remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. But watch this. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance. So you gotta wink at ignorance, man. 'Cause sometimes brothers may be joking with you and they don't know that you don't like being joking, right? So you might have to pull it to the side. Look, I don't like how you did that. Right, that's Matthew 18, verse 15 on that. So let's say he does it again in disrespect. You may tell him one more time because he probably did forget. But you see that he keep doing it again and again and again, brother, at that point, stop doing it around that brother. Because at that point, he's just disrespecting you. And the Most High God going to judge him. Because you already warned him. He also told you in Matthew 18, verse 15 on down, to treat him as a publican, right? As a heathen, right? Let's keep going. Verse 8, abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins, for a furious man will kindle strife. So you have to abstain from strife. The more you get into strife and the arguments, the more words going to be held against you in the day of judgment. You may call somebody out their name, you may say something about their mama, you may curse the dead, you may swear to the Most High God. You know Jake nowadays, I don't want to say it, but on so and so, right? You may say all these blasphemous words. Guess what? You might get put to death, man. Let's keep going. Verse 9, a sinful man disquieteth friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace. And watch out for that brother or sister when everybody's at a feast day. Everybody's at peace. Everyone's at laughter. Watch out for that brother who's the one who caused division and contention at the feast day. Keep your eyes out for that person. That person has an evil spirit. And I'm not saying that, the Lord's saying that. That person has an evil ass spirit, man. Excuse me for my language. I'm gonna jump down to verse 11. In hasty contention kindleth a fire, and in hasty fighting sheddeth blood. So if you're so quick to want to get in a fight, because that happens at so-called New Year's, Christmas. That happens at your family kickback, man. So when your uncle gets drunk, he start cussing up a storm. Nephew gets involved. They get into a fight. All hell breaks loose. Remember how that happened at a party, man? Two YNs, they start drinking. They both talking to this one girl. They get jealous, pull up, they get into it. One ups the gun on him, gets shot, man. It's so easy to die nowadays, man. So I'm gonna get this. This is gonna be my last one. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 13. It reads, "Keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city." So this evil world that we live in, referring to, I believe, First John 5 and verse 19, I believe it is. This evil world that we live in is a lot of snares and traps. It's so easy to get killed nowadays. You say one wrong thing, or you make one false move, and you get locked up for life. You get killed. You got a child on the way, man. It's so easy to get caught up in this life. So again, abstain from strife. Take the humble road. Play the sheep. Road that was edifying. I'm going to call her William, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Baruch Yahweh, Baruch Yahweh Shah. Shalom.